And I talk to people almost on a daily basis in regards to the point spreads and the accuracy of Vegas. And I think people slightly overestimate how good Vegas is. They are extremely good. And of course, if you're watching the NFL on a Sunday afternoon and you notice, wow, let's see, there's these 6 games in the fourth quarter, and wow, they're all hovering right around the point spread. I think there's a perception that Vegas is just a little bit better than they are. They crunch the numbers. They know what they're doing. And I think more than anything, more than knowing what the outcome's going to be, is them anticipating the betting public and knowing the betting public and leading up to each and every game, understanding where the trends are and how to sway that point spread to pull it into their favor, or at least get it to 50-50 so that they can take home that 10%. But I was crunching some numbers because I had noticed during the bowl season, once again, Vegas a little bit off its game. So bear with me a little bit. We've played 21 bowl games to date. We've got 20 to go. And this is the performance of Vegas. The favorite, Vegas's favorite in 21 bowl games, the favorite has won 11 times, only 11 of 21. There was one toss-up, Appalachian State and Toledo. That's a pick'em game, so we'll throw that one out. So the favorite's only won 11 of 20 games, according to Vegas. The other thing I wanted to determine was how close is Vegas typically on the point spread in these bowl games? Not as close as you might think. Let's run down all the bowl games here real quick. Let's start with the first bowl game played. It was the Cure Bowl. Central Florida was a 5.5-point favorite. They lost by 18. New Mexico Bowl. New Mexico, 7.5-point favorite. They won by 3. Pretty good pick there. Camellia Bowl, Toledo, Appalachian State. We talked about that. That was a pick'em game. Appalachian State won by 3, so good pick by Vegas there. All right, the Las Vegas Bowl, right there in Vegas. Houston, 4-point favorite. They lost by 24. Next game, New Orleans Bowl, Southern Miss, a 5.5-point favorite, won by 7. Good selection there. Miami Beach Bowl, Tulsa, 13-point favorite. They win by 45. So Vegas knew the game would not be competitive, and they were right on, regardless of 13, 45, whatever. Good selection there. Boca Raton Bowl, Western Kentucky, a 7-point favorite. They won by 20. Reasonable selection there. Poinsettia Bowl, BYU, a 10-point favorite, won by 3. All right. Then after this Colorado State game, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, Colorado State was a 13-point favorite. They lost by 11 points, 61-50. They were losing by 34 points at one point in this game, so Vegas had no idea on that one. Then they went on a run that kind of, I think, these kind of runs skew perception out there. 3 consecutive games, Vegas was right there. Bahamas Bowl, Old Dominion, 3.5-point favorite. They won by 4. They only missed it by a half point. Armed Forces Bowl, Louisiana Tech, 6-point favorite. They win by 3. They're right there. Dollar General Bowl, Troy, a 4-point favorite. They win by 5. Okay, they look pretty good right there. After that, though, Hawaii Bowl, Middle Tennessee's a 6.5-point favorite. They lost by 17. Mississippi State in their bowl game, 14-point favorite. They only won by 1, and if you were watching that game, should have lost the game in the last few seconds. Quick Lane Bowl, Maryland's a 1.5-point favorite. They lost by 6. And as you see this playing out, only about half the time is the favorite winning these bowl games. Independence Bowl a couple days ago, North Carolina State's a 5.5-point favorite. They won by 24. Military, Temple's an 11-point favorite. They lost by 8. Bad day for Vegas yesterday, depending on what the betting public was doing. Good day for me, actually. Holiday Bowl, Washington State, a 9-point favorite. They lost by 5. Cactus Bowl, Boise State was a 7.5-point favorite, and they lost the game by 19 points. And then today, first yesterday, Heart of Dallas Bowl, Army an 11-point favorite, won by 7, but in overtime, so it's basically a tie game at the end of regulation, if you want to look at it that way. And then the Pinstripe Bowl this afternoon. Pitt was a 5.5-point favorite against Northwestern. They lost the game by 7 points. So I think it generally plays out like this. About a third of the time, Vegas is razor close. They're within a point, 2 points, maybe a field goal. They're right there. About a third of the time, they are within a reasonable 7 points to 8 points, something in that range. And then about a third of the time, they are completely off. And during this bowl season, they're not even that close. The problem is that the betting public can't figure out when Vegas is really off. But Vegas was only within a touchdown 8 times out of these 21 games. So Vegas still has some work to do, and especially once we get to bowl play, motivation, who wants to play, who wants to show up. You're comparing teams that haven't played and have very dissimilar schedules. It's very interesting.